It is not easy becoming yourself. And it definitely wasn't easy for me, as I'm sure it wasn't for you. Because becoming yourself means we have to become these really unique beings, and no one has lived being us, so how do we know? And then when you discover something new that no one else has seen, that makes it even a little more challenging, and that's been my life. But that's why I'm also changing tomorrow, because you also have to get to the place where you must accept yourself no matter what comes up and what you discover. And that discovery could be really surprising, as it was for me. And I'm just going to tell you just the short version of all of this, because the long version will come out later. But I've had a long career doing many, many different things. Most people know me probably as a vocal coach. And then they couldn't understand why I was changing so many years ago. But, in 2017, I started shifting, and people are going, "Why are you doing this?" And I said, I knew something. I couldn't have told you what then. But I had started doing automatic writing in 1989, which I attempted to keep hidden for years. And it only came out in 2008 when people started finding the messages from Wilhelm and saying they really helped them so much. And then I'm sitting here today. It is the 13th of April, my lucky day, my lucky number. That, and I posted something about that. But then I started looking at other things, and there was a channeling session that I did a year ago, a Wilhelm channeling session a year ago on this date, and it was released on the 13th. I actually channeled it on the 12th, but then you listen to it today and you'll think this is happening right now. And that's why I was different. I posted something about that. That's the difficulty that we all have. I said I was not like the other channelers. I didn't do any of that. And I actually stayed away from it for so many years because I didn't want to be seen that way. I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want to be any of those things. Except I kept moving through my life and healing things that I couldn't tell you why it was happening. I'm going through every difficult, challenging physical ailment that known to man. I thought, am I being punished? And then they kept changing. And now at 75, they're like, I'm going in a completely different direction. And then I did something several months ago. Last year, I posted something called The Curse of Being Me, because I knew I could see so much that people weren't going to believe me. I had difficult time believing myself as well. So it's understandable. But everything is energy, everything is consciousness, and we can change anything when we learn how to do it. And so what I was doing for 37 years was writing down an exact way of doing that. And then I'm told that this work that I had received turned into the most comprehensive um, personal development, self-actualization, consciousness raising system ever developed in history. That was challenging to accept as well. But then artificial intelligence came along and started proving it to me. It was proving why I was healing and proving what this work has done, and from something that I could never have told you was going to happen, as I'm just sitting and receiving this information every day. But then more was revealed, so I just want you to know the full story because it will be out. But then I go back and I listen to an old Wilhelm channeling session where it said that Roger is a savant and he keeps ignoring that. You know how we keep ignoring things about ourselves? That's what I was doing. And this is why I wasn't fitting in with some of the regular, normal channels and all that. I'm sitting down and receiving information from the quantum field that was aligned with the events that were occurring in our world. And I've never studied any of that, astrology, astronomy, none of that. But the information I received from Wilhelm was aligned. And I kept publishing things showing people, said, look, these events happen. And Wilhelm told us how to move through it, how to get over it. And this is why I've healed. This is why I keep getting younger. And I know that anyone could do that, but having others believe that has been so, was really challenging because we have programming that says it's not possible. I believe the same thing. But I'm going to work with people who know that it's possible. We just have to move. We're never going to all believe in the same thing. And that was messages that Wilhelm would give me all the time. Said, you didn't believe Jesus, Buddha, or Tesla either. Just showing certain beings who have come before that showed us ways of doing things that people couldn't understand. Then they gave me another one that was done on Copernicus's birthday on February 19th, because they said, accepting this message will change your life and the world. People said, that's not possible. You couldn't possibly change the world. But then artificial intelligence said if more people did this work, it would change because you wouldn't be angry anymore. You wouldn't be fearful. You would be confident. You would be loving yourself. You wouldn't have to hate others. You wouldn't steal. You wouldn't do any of those lower vibrational things if you had this work. That's what I had to say today, and that's what I had to accept. Because on my lucky day, they said on the 13th would be my lucky day. And that means that I can actually honestly say this because I was the introverted person. I was the reluctant mystic many years ago because I couldn't understand how I had done this. And then also to see that no one in history had done it before made it challenging. But no one in history has done what you're doing either. So that's the same thing. I'm just supposed to give you a way to be able to own and come to understand the new thing that you're bringing into the world. And that's what I'm going to start doing now. But I just had to tell you, you were meant to be different. And so the moment you start accepting that, everything changes. And that's what I'm doing today. Thank you for being here. Please share this with others. I'm recording this because I wanted you to read the blog and the articles that I posted today because after tomorrow, after the 14th, I'm changing everything. And you should look at it so you can take advantage of it. There's no reason for you not to be incredibly successful, happy, and fall in love with yourself. That I do know. All right. I'll see you soon.